It's time.
Can we get the show on the road?
I've been waiting for it all day.
And not a moment too soon.
Listen to talk radio.
This guy, Todd.
Monday through Friday.
5 to 7.
He's weird.
Best thing on the radio!
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call me now, 937-457-1290.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Afternoon, everybody.
Norman?
How's life, Norm? Not for the squeamish, Coach. Afternoon, everybody. How's it going, Norm? Daddy's rich and Mama good looking. Afternoon, everybody.
Norman?
What's up, Norm? My nipples. It's freezing out there. Afternoon, everybody.
Norman?
What's the story, Norm? Thirsty guy who walks into a bar. You finish it. Afternoon, everybody. Lay it down, Norm. What do you know? Not enough. Afternoon, everybody.
Norman?
How you doing, Norm? Cut the small talk and give me a beer.
It is the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. A live stream is up on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. And, of course, those were just a handful of the memorable intros of the famous Norm from Cheers, of course, played by George Wendt. I would have to say, as far as iconic, beloved, memorable characters who played these, like, bit character, I wouldn't even call it a bit part. I mean, he was just great. Well, he passed away. We got word today that George Wendt passed at the age of 76 yesterday, or this morning, I guess, at his home in Hollywood. So, man, that's sad. You know, I know that Coach, the guy who played Coach on that show for the first season or two, I mean, he passed away during the filming of that show. But I'm trying to think. I think he might. No, Kirstie Alley. Kirstie Alley also passed away, and she played Rebecca on Cheers after what's her face? The woman who played Diane left. Yeah, man, that's too bad. He was my favorite, 100%. Him and Sam Malone and Fraser Crane. I mean, all just great, iconic characters. But unfortunately, George Wendt passing at the age of 76, and I couldn't start the show without mentioning that. His character in that show brought so much joy and happiness to people over the years. I think it was on for like 11 seasons. That is almost unheard of. I feel like it was on that long. And not long ago, I saw him on a podcast. You can find it on YouTube. It's the podcast that Ted Danson and Woody Harrelson host. It's called Where Everybody Knows Your Name. And they have reconnected with a number of people who were on Cheers, or they were part of Cheers. They also talked to other folks, other actors and actresses from that period. But if you're interested, check it out. And I will say, I remember when I saw that episode, I was sort of shocked and surprised to see George Wendt in the condition that he was. I mean, he looked pretty rough. I don't know if he's been dealing with some sort of medical issue over the years. I don't recall him mentioning any of that in that podcast, but it was a really good interview, and they talked about the early beginnings of Cheers. And again, that was just that was one show that my mom and dad let me stay up to watch, because if I recall, it was on at 9:00. And it was on a Thursday. And usually by 9:00, it was Betty by time. Shelley Long. Thank you, Steve. It was Shelley Long who played Diane. I think it came on at 9:00. That's my recollection. Been a long time. But that was one show my parents let me stay up to watch, because usually I'd be in bed by then. But yeah, kind of sad. Very sad. George Wendt dies at the age of 76. Tonight on the show, we have all kinds of crazy stories. I've got the weirdest story you will hear today. It has to do with a manga, like Japanese manga prophecy that was made in a manga comic book years ago that is actually causing a stir in Japan, and that people are canceling their travel plans to Japan because of this manga prophecy, which is very, very strange. So we'll get to that. Also have some Ohio woman news and a restaurant that is banning anyone under the age of 21. Yeah, that includes you, Bryn, my producer tonight. You can't do it. You can't go. You're too little. So we'll get to all that. 937-457-1290. Jason and Dane. What's up, Jason?
Hey, Todd, you and I believe, are very similar in age. Do you remember that Kings Island, when it used to be Paramount's Kings Island, they had the set from Cheers in that big house, that big building towards the front, and they would have shows around the set.
Really? I don't remember that. I don't remember that. So it was like our own little Cheers, our version of Cheers.
It was. And at the time, my roommate and I lived in Mason, so we had season tickets. So we would go out after work, and we one night got picked to sit at the bar during the show. And I sat where Norm sat, and he sat where Cliff sat.
So what kind of show did they do? What was it? Was it?
It was a singing. It was like a singing. Probably songs from that time frame. But again, this was probably about 25 years ago.
I got you. Was it maybe like they had somebody on piano and they were playing all these songs? I got you.
They actually had the cast. So
really?
It was like a mini sitcom show that they also sang during. It was cool. Yeah.
Like the actual cast? The actual cast from the show?
No.
They
had the characters.
Oh, okay. I got you.
I didn't get to meet Ted Danson or Shelley Long or anybody like that.
I only bring that up because remember the Brady Bunch and the Partridge Family both went to Kings Island. So I thought, why not Cheers? Nope. All right. I appreciate
it in the front. Yep.
Thanks, Jason. I appreciate the call. That line's open, 937-457-1290. I saw this story this morning on WHIO.com, and maybe if there's a lawyer listening could give some insight on this after you hear the story. So there's a woman up in Springfield where I guess Friday night, she's at home. She's in her house, and all of a sudden she hears glass breaking, and she panics as one would. She's in this house by herself with her Great Dane, but she hears glass breaking and she thinks immediately that somebody is shooting at her house, which could happen, right? We hear stories about this all the time. So the story says that she thought, somebody was shooting. She grabbed her dog, her Great Dane, grabbed her gun, which I guess she had out, and hit the floor. And it turns out that it was rocks. Somebody was throwing rocks at her window. And she caught this on video. I guess she had a Ring camera. And it shows a man throwing rocks through her front window, then jumps in a van and it speeds off. So, of course, she notifies the police and she says, hey, this happened. And I guess police are investigating this. And then she called her landlord because she's a renter. She rents this house. And the landlord sends over a window guy to look at this. And he says there were 4 windows broken and it's going to cost $600 to fix. Now, this woman in Springfield, her name is Donna Moore. She says that she's on disability. She has a fixed income. Or I guess, she's disabled and she's on a fixed income. And she has no way to pay for this. And I thought, well, that sounds kind of weird that the tenant would have to pay for vandalism because she's renting. And I dug a little deeper and I found some stuff online, and I'm hoping 2 things. One, that we can get clarification on this. Online, it says that it's the landlord's responsibility. The guy who was there looking at the windows said it was going to be $600 and that she'd have to pay. So that doesn't make sense to me. And I started thinking about this. It's like, wait a second. Are they trying to pull something on this woman who's already in a desperate situation? What's the story there? The story that I saw, or the info that I saw online about Ohio law, is that, if the tenant causes the damage, the vandalism, or maybe a guest of the tenant, they're responsible. But if it's a random act of violence or a random act of vandalism, why would this woman who's on a fixed income be on the hook for $600 to fix broken windows? I mean, don't landlords who own houses or apartments or whatever carry a bunch of insurance on these homes for that very thing? That's odd to me. The second thing I was hoping is that just the power of WHIO radio. We have a lot of folks who work in those types of home improvements. Is there anything anybody could do for this woman if, in fact, she has to pay for it? I mean, that just seems ridiculous to me. Now, if they find out that this person was somehow connected to this woman, maybe there'll be some question. But I saw that story this morning. I thought, wait a second, that doesn't make sense. So maybe there's an attorney out there who knows something about this that can kind of shed some light, because I'd like to reach out to this woman and figure out if that's the case, if she has to pay, is there something we can do to help, or I can do to help? But if you got any details on that, 937-457-1290, because I ain't no lawyer. I'm just married to a paralegal. That's all.
What am I listening to now? What is this?
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
It's a radio show. It's entertainment.
Spell it out, punk.
T-O.
Double D.
H.
Oh.
Double L.
S-T. I can remember that.
Locally grown, seriously funny.
I'm puzzled by the whole thing.
On WHIO.
All right, we got a paper wad. First one of the night. Last night I was perfect. Nope, not tonight. That was quick. Hey, William. Hello to Wapakoneta. That's what I'm thinking, Bruce. It seems to me like this is a landlord issue. Mm. Do do do. Well, I guess there aren't any lawyers that listen to this show. Nobody's calling with comments. Hey, Ron, how you doing? What's happening, man? Oh, I have no idea, Carolyn. I have no idea. I mean, I would imagine that she probably just has a standard rental lease, you know? I mean, ultimately, the way it comes down, I think most of the time is if you cause the damage, then you're on the hook for it, right? If you break something or a guest of yours breaks something or damages something or intentionally vandalize whatever, you're on the hook. But just a random act of vandalism, I don't know how the non-homeowner or property owner would be responsible. But I don't know. Yeah, it just seems to me that, I mean, if she's renting a house, if somebody came up and tagged her house, like like spray paint with graffiti, I don't understand how that could be her responsibility. I mean, to me, that's part of the cost of doing business if you're a landlord.
President unveils a golden dome. We'll have latest at 5:30. Now back to the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst on 1290 and 95.7 WHIO.
And Tom, what were you again?
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. Live stream is up on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Still hoping that we get some clarification. There's got to be a lawyer who knows something about this. This poor woman in Springfield, somebody threw rocks at her window in a house that she rents, broke a bunch of glass, and she's being told, at least she reported to Channel 7, WHIO, on WHIO.com, that she's being told she has to pay for it. But she's a renter. She didn't cause the damage. Seems to me that that's a landlord thing. And this woman is on a fixed income. She's disabled, lives alone, doesn't have the money to fix this. Now, I'm assuming this woman has broken windows, which is no way to live. It's just no way to live. I mean, I remember when I was renting an apartment. It wasn't a house, but I was renting an apartment. And we had raccoons. Raccoons ended up in the attic. And they had to call, a trapper. Guy came out and set up some traps, grabbed them and took. I didn't have to pay for that. That's the job of the landlord. Now, if this woman, caused the damage or vandalized the apartment or the property or the house, whatever it might be, then that's one thing, or a guest of hers. But this seemingly was a random act. I'm just thinking of this woman living in this house up there with broken glass. I just find it odd. I don't know if you saw this story today. We're going to get into this after the news. Did you hear about 12,000 chicks being abandoned inside a United States Postal Service vehicle? All but 2,000 have died. And now they're trying to figure out how exactly 12,000 chicks were just left to their own devices in a truck in a warehouse. Explain that to me. I don't know.
What am I listening to now? What is this?
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
It's a radio show. It's entertainment.
Fill it up, folks.
S-T. I can remember that.
Locally grown, seriously funny.
I'm puzzled by the whole thing.
On WHIO.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about that, Caroline. So there's a new feature on our live stream here that it's in the beta stage, and I'm going to turn it on, and I just want to see what it looks like. So don't everybody panic, okay? I just want to see what it looks like, and I needed to have comments for it. So let's see. Nope, that's not it. It says show comments on stage. I don't know what that means. Lets you display live comments directly onto your stream. Please note that some platforms like... Well, I'm not seeing any comments on my... That's weird. Let's see. Is it my comment? Ah, there we go. Lower right corner. There it is. Ah, well, that covers up the show logo, doesn't it? Well, that sucks. Interesting. Do you see it in the lower right? I wonder if it's on Facebook. Oh, yeah, you can't even see them. They're too small. Well, that's stupid. Well, we won't be using that. Yeah, I know that those work. Like that's always, we've always had that. So you can highlight a comment. But this is in the lower right. That looks dumb. Thanks, Ron. I'm very happy with it. I can't wait to get out and ride it some more. Got to do a video with Mary, too. She got a bike, so we'll have some fun. Did you just...
Payroll payout alert.
Thank you, thank you.
$1,000 tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.
Be of good cheer and call me.
Call me now. Call me.
He's laughing at us right on the radio.
The least we can do is get him on the radio and talk to him.
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call me at 457-1290.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7, live stream up on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Just heard that story that Ron Otto had in his newscast about a follow-up to that kid who fell out of the stands in, where was that? It was a Pirates game. He was in the front row in the outfield. There was a big play. He got excited. He jumped up, fell over the railing, and severely injured himself on the warning track. And a lot of people had speculated. There was immediately rumors that he was drunk. Well, it turns out he was 20, obviously, too young to drink. And now there's an arrest. A 21-year-old person, Ethan Kirkwood is his name, was arrested for furnishing alcohol to a minor at the stadium. So apparently he was the beer guy. Beer here! And he sold it. Now, my question is, and I didn't see it in the story anywhere, did this 20-year-old have a fake ID? Or did the guy selling beer even ask for an ID? If he didn't, then that's a problem. 100%. But I'd be curious if this 20-year-old had a fake ID, because, you know, there's a lot of underage folks out there that have fake IDs. So I'm just curious to see what the story is with this. I mean, it's unfortunate that he fell from the stands, injured his skull, his brain, his spine, ribs, lungs. I mean, this guy got beat up falling out of the stands. And he was sold 2 beers, so maybe 2 beers was enough. That's his limit. Who knows? But it'll be interesting to see what they say. Jim in Riverside. What's up, Jim?
Hey, this is Jim, the Manwich Man.
Hey, what's going on? Hang on. Wait. Hold on, Jim. Hold on.
Okay.
You're the Manwich Man?
I am the Manwich Man.
My Manwich!
That's all I wanted to do. Yeah, that's all. That's all I had. So anyway, what's going on, my friend?
Well, that poor lady in Springfield should not have to pay for those windows. That landlord should have homeowner's insurance, and he should either pay for the repairs himself or turn it into his insurance. So if I can get if I can get that address, I can get you the landlord's name.
Well, I don't want to get litigated
I don't
myself.
Cause any trouble. Well, not too much anyway. But,
well,
it's like, no, why is he going to do her dirty like that?
Now, see, and that's
her fault.
And then let me just say, I only have one side of the story because that's all that was covered in this initial story. Channel 7 is trying, I guess, to get the other side. But if you missed it, there was a woman who had rocks thrown in her window, several broken windows. And she's disabled. She's on a fixed income. She lives alone. And some guy came out and said it's going to cost $600 to fix your windows, and you're responsible. And the landlord, I guess, is the person who sent out the window guy. So they must have already had a conversation, as to who's going to foot the bill or who he wants to foot the bill.
Exactly.
And my thing is, it's like, well, wait a second. If she caused the damage, or a guest caused the damage, then that's one thing. But, somebody on the live stream mentioned that I don't know if it was their experience or someone else's experience, where somebody was renting a home and a tree fell during a storm and damaged the house, and the landlord was trying to get the tenant to pay. It's like, no. That's your property and that's your tree. You're responsible for that, not the person who's renting. So I don't know the other side of the story. I don't have all the particulars. I'm just going by what I saw on WHIO.com.
Well, let's just wait, and I'll tell you what. If nothing else, I will contribute to that $600 to help her get those windows repaired, I'll throw in at least $50.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, Jim. Thank you for that. I'll follow up with this and see what the story is. I mentioned it to the newsroom earlier. I said, hey, I saw this story. We need to investigate this a little more. And the TV people just kind of gave me a weird look. Like, what? And I said, well, here's the deal. Why should she have to pay? That's not the way this generally works. So we'll see what happens. Let's see. Robert in Greenville. Hey, Robert, how you doing, man?
Good, Todd. Good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you.
Really enjoy the show.
Oh, thank you. Let me give you some Casino Bell love. That's due. So what's happening?
So I was calling about the young man that was fell over the stands and the beer drinking and all that.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's some kind of a quota for the guys that are selling beer. Does it have to be, maybe he wasn't checking IDs. Maybe they've got to get rid of so many things of beer. Maybe there was pressure on the stadium side, and it could be a bigger lawsuit than just
Right.
Arresting the kids. I wonder if anyone's ever worked in that industry, or when you've gone to, help out at a game, do they try and force you to really sell the popcorn, sell the cotton candy, and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's. I've worked at a ballpark before. I worked down at the Dragon Stadium back in the inaugural season, but I was never privy to whether the concession people were given marching orders, or you got to upsell, or whatever the story is. I don't know. But isn't it weird? I mean, if he had like a fake ID, I don't know if the person selling the alcohol is ever responsible for that. Like at a bar, if somebody comes in with a fake ID and they look at the ID, now maybe there's technology where they could tell, but at one time it wasn't that way. I just wonder if that person is still responsible. I don't know.
Well, I would think if he had a fake ID, when they found him laying out in the middle of the baseball field, they would have checked his ID and figured out that's not a real one.
Right.
You never know.
Right. All right. Well, I appreciate it, Robin. Thanks. Robert, have a good one. That line's open, 937-457-1290. All right. Here's this story. This is a weird story. So in Delaware, 12,000 chicks, including turkey chicks, geese chicks, and quail chicks. Mostly they were chicken chicks. Were stranded in a UPS truck at a mail center for 3 days because of shipping delays and misdirection. So think about this. Somebody has a truck full of 12,000 chicks. That's a lot of chicks. And I would also imagine kind of noisy. Right? I mean, chicks, they make noises, don't they? I mean, I've not been around a lot of chicks, but I remember raising some chicks in elementary school. We had one of those incubators. We had little eggs that hatched, and we had chicks. I've seen chicks at Rural King, right? Or Farmer, or whatever you know what I'm talking about, right? I think they make noise. So somebody just abandoned, whoever's driving the truck, 12,000 chicks in this mail center for 3 days. They were packed in 300 cardboard crates. And I guess somebody finally said, "Hey, whatever happened to those chicks? Have you seen those chicks? We seem to be missing some chicks. About 12,000 short. What do you think? Wonder where they could be." And they said, "Oh, wait a second. I know where I left them." Well, when they found them, 10,000 of them had died. About 2,000 had survived. And now they're being cared for at a shelter up there that are struggling to take care of 2,000 chicks. How do you take care of that? I mean, that's almost as bad as having a shelter full of dogs. 2,000 chicks. The UPS, which has shipped chicks for over a century, like they used to ship kids. Yeah, Bryn, they did. You used to be able to send children through the mail. I know you're joking. You think I'm joking? Look it up. 100%. The USPS, which has shipped chicks for over a century, states that chicks can be safely transported without food or water for up to 72 hours. But this incident has raised concerns about animal welfare and shipping practices. And this is the other thing, the hatchery called Freedom Ranger Hatchery, which are based in Pennsylvania. They're the ones who raise these chicks and then ship them off each week. The chicks were intended to go to Texas, Florida, Ohio. Were you expecting some chicks in the mail and they didn't show up? Well, they're probably in Delaware. They may be alive. They may not be alive. We don't know. Also, they were supposed to, 2,000 were supposed to go to Spokane, Washington. But the company says they can't take them back because of biosecurity concerns.
So the 2,000 that survived, they won't take them back. So now they're scrambling to try to find homes for these 2,000 little chicks. That is crazy. Speaking of chicks, Wing It Wednesday. Every Wednesday here on the show, we have a nonprofit come in. And all I ask is that you bring me a plate of chicken wings. It's a fair trade. You come in, you talk about your nonprofit, all the great works that you're doing, and all it costs you is some chicken wings. And I have openings for the summer. And there's word that the feature may become sponsored. So I need to make sure our schedule is full. So now is your time. If you are a nonprofit or a local community organization, like I got people coming from the poultry days up in Versailles. We had folks on from the Aviation Trail last week. We've had folks from all different types of like veterans associations, children's groups, arts groups, the whole deal. So if you happen to be one of these groups that are having an event, or you want to spread the word about your mission or whatever, now's the time. Get in on it. Wing It Wednesday. And you can send me an email at eveningedgetodd@gmail.com, or find there's a really fancy picture of me on my face on a plate of chicken wings on my Facebook page. So hit me up. We'll get you scheduled.
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
That is kind of odd, receiving poultry through the mail. It's a weird thing, but okay. Marcia, we had, let's see, Dan Edwards and Dave Barity. Caroline, it's coming. I promise. I'm going to get to it probably next hour. They were really good. The guys from Aviation Trail.
MCAir.com. This is WHIO Dayton and WHIO FM Pleasant Hill. All news, all the time.
Is Wawa coming to Moraine? Well, latest at 6. Now back to the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst on 1290 at 95.7 WHIO.
I'm just trying to make a living.
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. Live stream up on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Coming up after the news, the weirdest story you're going to hear today has to do with Japanese manga and how a prophecy in a Japanese manga comic book is causing a stir. Also, a restaurant that's banning anybody under the age of 21. So we're going to talk about that. And a crazy new TikTok, I don't know what you'd call it. It's just nonsense. About people who haven't broken a bone. That somehow they must be special. I'm not buying it. Stacy and Troy. Hey, Stacy.
Hey.
Hey, what's up?
I'm going to comment on the alcohol, the kid that fell.
Oh yeah, at the ballpark.
Yeah, I've been an usher at events that sell alcohol, and we had to go through classes and training and get tested on it before we were allowed to work the event. And I was only an usher, and I still had to do the alcohol training. But a lot of times at concerts and things, they will ID people as they come in, and if they plan on getting alcohol, they'll give them a bracelet. And if he got a bracelet from somebody, he could have just shown the bracelet and bought alcohol.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. I've been to events like that where you get the bracelet. That way they don't have to check at the time because things are busy. And yeah. Interesting. Thank you. Thanks, Stacy. Appreciate it. Charlie, Clark County. What's up, Charlie?
Hey, great show as always. I'm retired from the post office.
Oh, so you know about chicks in the mail.
Yeah, we in Springfield, I've been retired 10 years, but we would get ducklings, we would get pheasants, small, baby pheasants.
Right.
We got a lot of bees, believe it or not. Different types of birds. There was a couple guys that did like racing or carrier pigeons.
Right. Yeah.
Springfield.
Yeah.
Fish on occasion. I delivered iguanas one time to a pet store in Springfield.
Now, let me ask you this, Charlie. How could somebody do you think they forgot that they were in the vehicle, or did they just figure, they're good for 72 hours, we'll come back and get them, and then forgot? I mean, what?
No, they're always special handling. They're handled like express mail or registered mail with the utmost attention. So somebody really screwed up. I'm going to guess they were on a semi-truck, and that truck just got ignored at some large facility, like maybe down, your post office is pretty big.
Yeah.
The bulk mail center down the road towards, what is it, West Carrollton is where the bulk mail center is. But,
okay.
It's really, really tragic that happened. And somebody really screwed up.
Just think of the smell. Yeah.
Yeah. The worst thing is that most of them passed away. Needlessly.
All right, Charlie. Appreciate your call, buddy. Thanks for the insight.
What am I listening to now?
What is this?
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
It's a radio show. It's entertainment.
Fill it up.
T-O-double-D.
S-T. I can remember that.
Locally grown, seriously funny.
I'm puzzled by the whole thing.
On WHIO.
Live from the WHIO News Center, this is Miami Valley's News at 6. Our top local story, Kettering Health Network hit by a cyber attack this morning.
Rain chances hang around into tomorrow, cool temperatures as well. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austin Cheney. My forecast is coming up.
This traffic report is sponsored by Grismer Tire and Auto Service. Expert brake repair you can trust. Make sure you can stop when you need to the most. Get a little peace of mind by making an appointment today with your trusted brake repair experts at GrismerTire.com.
Had a report of a crash on 675 north approaching I-70 there, but we've got several cameras. I can't find anything at all right now. Marine cops on the scene of a crash. Northbound 75 at Edwin C. Moses Boulevard and Washington Township at Yankee Street in Social Row. Westbound 35 on the ramp to northbound 75 as well. I'm Will Harris, WHIO Triple Team Traffic.
These stories and more coming up. I'm Ron Otto. WHIO News Time is exactly 6 o'clock.
WH.
Hey, Lyle, how are you?
WHIO payroll payout alert.
Thank you, thank you.
$1,000 tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.
Can I turn on your radio?
Yes, already.
It's almost showtime.
Who's your favorite talk radio personality?
That's Todd.
He's weird.
Monday through Friday.
He's strange. 5 to 7. Sloppy.
I mean, he sounds perfect.
He's dreamy.
What do you say? Let's get it going.
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call me now, 937-457-1290.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Why can't you accept me for what I am? Why?
It is the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. Live stream is up on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok, and you can follow me on social media at Evening Edge Todd. Just look me up, and you will find me. On the way this hour, we've got, okay, here's the rundown. Weaponizing the song Baby Shark. We got some sun flares to talk about. Could cause chaos here on planet Earth. I'm going to bring my producer, Bryn, into the conversation a little bit later. There's a TikTok, I wouldn't call it a trend, but it's a theory about people who don't have or haven't experienced breaking bones, but somehow they're special. Also, if we got time, I've got a story of maybe the worst boyfriend ever, and restaurant banning under 21-year-olds. So, but the first thing, I meant to get to this earlier, but I just ran out of time. We have a feature here called The Weirdest Story You'll Hear Today.
That's some weird news of the world.
That is bizarre.
The weirdest thing I've heard today.
Where do you get this stuff?
I found a sensational story, like weird news. I thought I heard it all till now.
Now, I got to tell you, I've never been like a big comic book guy. I had some comic books when I was a kid, but I just never really got into them like many of my friends, and I'm sure many of like you. You probably still have your comic books from years and years ago. Some of you do, I'm sure. And the other sort of aspect of comic books that I'm not really aware too much of is manga. I know what manga is. I mean, I've seen the art. I know that it's basically, it's like a Japanese sort of comic book. I think that's where it originated, but it's very, very popular. Bryn, are you into manga at all? Is that something that you know what it is, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, but are you into it?
Not really. It's not really my thing.
Not really? Okay, yeah. Well, back in 1999, there was a manga, I guess it's a comic book, a book or something, called The Future I See, and it was written by someone by the name of Ryo Tatsuki. And in this particular book, this manga artist referenced a disaster that they predicted was going to happen in March 2011. And they said that they had a dream about this, and they took this dream and they put it in this manga comic book. And nobody really thought much of it. It was just a book. Then in March 2011, which is the month that she referenced in this book, or he, I'm not sure if Ryo is a guy or a gal, there was a catastrophic earthquake and a tsunami that devastated the Tohoku region of Japan. So after that, people were like, wait a second, this particular manga artist predicted this disaster. Well, now people are readying themselves for something that is supposed to happen on July 5th of 2025, just over a month from now. Apparently, Tatsuki, who did the book, revised the publication in 2021. So like an updated version. And in that, this person makes another dire prediction that on July 5th, 2025, a crack will open up under the seabed between Japan and the Philippines that will unleash waves 3 times as tall as those of the 2011 disaster. Now, a lot of people have jumped on this. According to stories that I saw, there have been predictions from psychics, feng shui masters, and others who are also predicting that on July 5th, the seabed is going to crack open between Japan and the Philippines, and all hell's going to break loose. But it's, when you see something like this, if I saw this story, well, I did see this story, but my point is, if I just was reading through and I saw, there's this crazy prediction, I wouldn't think anything of it. Because first of all, you can't predict earthquakes. You can't do that. And I also don't believe in psychics. And I also don't believe that a feng shui master is going to have any insight as to what's going to happen in the ocean. I mean, maybe they know how to arrange furniture, but that's about it, right? That's all I'm going to my feng shui master for. Where do I put the sofa? Not when is the world going to end? That's not stay in your lane, feng shui guy. But I wouldn't think anything of it. But apparently, there are a large number of folks who were planning on traveling to Japan during this period of time that have since canceled their plans because of this prediction. That is the strangest story you've heard today. I promise you. That people are canceling vacation plans, business trips, family reunions in Japan because of this manga book, this manga comic book, and this prediction. Isn't that strange? That is just a very, very weird story. Now, somebody's saying better safe than sorry. Is it? I mean, I don't know. It just feels weird to me. I don't really believe in all those predictions and those prophecies and Nostradamus and all that. I know people just eat that stuff up, but I've never been convinced of it. Now, look, if I come back after the 4th of July holiday and there was a massive earthquake and tsunami in between Japan and the Philippines, I'll eat my hat. Okay? I'll do it right here on the show. We've got some fast food mayhem to talk about.
Shoppers behaving badly.
Look at this. A clerk runs after a customer and starts throwing punches.
Fists are flying. The shoppers are shouting.
A fight between a customer and an overnight manager.
What in the world are these people thinking?
What's wrong with you people?
So this story is kind of interesting because we've had a couple of stories in the past where certain restaurants, certain bars have, well, maybe not so much bars because, you're supposed to be over 21 to go in there anyways to drink. But a lot of bars are a little lenient. You can come in, but you don't necessarily get to drink, right? But we've had some instances where restaurants have said no more children because the children are unruly. I remember talking about there was one in Ohio that did something like that. We've also seen stories where like malls are saying, there's a, you have to have a chaperone. Kids of a certain age or under a certain age can't be in there during certain times without, accompanied by an adult. Even Kings Island's that way now. Here's a new one. A McDonald's restaurant in Fairfax County, Virginia, has implemented a new policy restricting indoor dine-in access for customers age 21 and older. So at this particular McDonald's, you have to be 21 to go in and eat your Big Mac or your quarter pounder with cheese or your Filet-O-Fish inside the restaurant. No more kids. And it's not just kids. If you're 20, forget it. You're not getting in. Bryn, my producer, she's 18. You ain't getting in, sweetheart. You're not going to be able to go in, sit down, and enjoy your extra value meal at this particular McDonald's. Now, I don't expect you to go into Fairfax County, Virginia anytime soon. The restaurant did this because of multiple fights among young people in the restaurant's dining area. The restaurant has posted a sign citing student violence as the reason for the temporary measure. And I get it. It's probably one of these McDonald's that's clearly not far from a school. And after class is over, or maybe they're allowed to leave for lunch. Some schools in the area, I know you're allowed to leave for lunch. I think at Centerville, I don't know if you still can. At one time you could. My wife went there and she used to leave all the time for lunch. She didn't necessarily go to eat lunch, but she was away from the school for a good hour or so. I've heard the stories. But I wasn't allowed to leave at my school at Beaver Creek. But student violence has erupted in this particular McDonald's multiple times. So they say, no more. Adults who are under the age of 21 may still order via the mobile app, and ID checks may be conducted. Can you imagine that? You go to the McDonald's, you want to go in and have a Filet-O-Fish or a Big Mac or whatever. Let me see your ID. Before you can go in and munch down. Customers and community members have expressed concerns about safety and behavior issues among the youth. The McDonald's operator emphasized that the policy is just a temporary safety measure developed in collaboration with local schools and law enforcement. But you know what? I think as time goes on, we're going to see more of this, because we all know that the behavior of some kids today is certainly not what it used to be. They're a little out of control, 100%. And you can't necessarily just put all the blame on the kids. It's mostly the parents. And things have changed. Not for the better, but that's the way it is. And I can see where businesses, restaurants, especially nicer restaurants, McDonald's isn't in that category, but I can see where they're going to be like, no, we're done. We it's not the kids, it's the parents. So we're not going to let the kids have the opportunity to act up because the parents don't respond and do what they're supposed to do. That's what I think is going to happen. There's my prophecy. Yeah. Adult only restaurants. Who's with me?
What am I listening to now?
What is this? The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
It's a radio show. It's entertainment.
Fill it up. T-O.
Double D.
H-O.
Double L.
S-T. I can remember that.
Locally grown, seriously funny.
I'm puzzled by the whole thing.
On WHIO.
Another paper wad. 0 for 1. Ooh, homes without barriers. Todd, I just made a video. It doesn't show me, let me find you on Facebook. Groups. Oh, Barry. Oh, wow. This is amazing. Let's see. Tonight we'll have latest at 6:30. Now back to the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst on 1290 and 95.7 WHIO.
At best, you're an underachiever at a local radio station.
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. Last hour, I started the show with a story about a woman up in Springfield who had her house vandalized. She's a renter, and somebody threw rocks through several of her windows, front windows, and she called her landlord. Landlord sent somebody out to take a look at the windows, and they said it's going to cost $600. According to this woman on the story on WHIO.com, She said that they told her she was responsible, which I really questioned, and we kind of dug into that a little bit. But I just got a message from, I think his name is CJ, who's watching the live stream, listening to the station, and he's with a charity in Medway called Homes Without Barriers, and he just posted this video, and I just want to share this because, again, it just shows the incredible strength of WHIO and how great our listeners are. So there you go, and I'm going to share this video on my Facebook page. If you want to help out, contact Homes Without Barriers. Again, this is a charity organization. They're in Medway, and they want to help this lady out. We'll try to get more information and figure out exactly what the story is. But this woman shouldn't be on the hook for vandalism. The landlord should be responsible for that. And in my view, and I think in the view of many people. So I'm going to share that. And if you'd like to help out in some way, find Homes Without Barriers on Facebook, give them a follow, and we'll take care of this lady in Springfield.
What am I listening to now?
What is this? The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
It's a radio show. It's entertainment.
Fill it up. T-O.
Double D.
H-O.
Double L.
S-T. I can remember that.
Locally grown, seriously funny.
I'm puzzled by the whole thing.
On WHIO.
Oh, thank you, CJ. I think says the email here is CJ Prater. I'm assuming you're CJ, right? I tried to find a video with your name on it, and I couldn't find it quick enough. So I just took a guess. So I hope that's right. But I gave you a follow. If you could follow my page, and then if you haven't already, and we can chat, because, you guys should come on Wing It Wednesday and talk about Homes Without Barriers. That would be great. I'd love to have you on. So please contact me. Send me a message on Messenger or something. That'd be great. Oh, and then Tom Gates. There you go. Tom Gates also said once he wants to help. Tom, you're on Facebook. Follow my page. I'll find you too, and maybe we can all work together to help this lady out. That would be awesome. Let's see. Oh, you're on. Tom, are you on? I see that you're watching on. I see you're on YouTube. Do you guys have a Facebook page? If you do, send me a link or something. I tried to find it. I couldn't find you. Okay. Well, let me see if I can. Yeah, I'm not easily finding it, Tom. So if you don't mind, send me something. Send me, if you want to email it, eveningedgetodd@gmail.com, or on my, just send me a message on Messenger, or even send me a message on YouTube or something. I don't know. No problem. Thank you, man. Thanks, Tom. I appreciate it.
Hey,
Payout alert.
Thank you, thank you.
$1,000 tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.
Everybody, could I have your attention, please?
I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Now, hold on, dummy. Just you listen to me.
Now, listen to me carefully. You boys got something to say to me? Why don't you talk into the microphone?
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call me at 457-1290.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. We're up on the live stream, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. That's not the right music that I normally play. Is it? No. I have to do this. You have to understand I'm that obsessive. I have to. Oh, my gosh. Oh, it feels so much better. Well, I've already gone through my, it's the show. We're on 5 to 7, live stream, blah, blah, blah. You know, there's a lot of really bad boyfriends out there, right? A lot of bad boyfriends. This might be the worst boyfriend ever. Or one of the worst. Maybe not the worst, but certainly he's certainly going to the bad boyfriend seminars. 23-year-old from Utah has been charged with multiple counts of assault and kidnapping after cops say he allegedly held his girlfriend's family hostage for 6 months. 6 months. Investigators say this guy by the name of Dominic Garcia manipulated the family into believing that they were in danger from a drug cartel in Mexico and used fear to control them and threaten them with a handgun while forcing them into extreme activities, such as going through a boot camp and ice baths. So this 23-year-old, is a boyfriend, one of the girls in the family, and he held him hostage for 6 months. After a family member called the police, I guess they weren't sure if this was accurate. If the rumors were true about the cartel, they weren't sure. So they called and reported it. Garcia admitted that the cartel claims were fabricated and kept the lie going out of fear that the family, quote, would dislike him. Wow. For 6 months. He was arrested on May 17th and faces 28 charges, including assault and kidnapping. Authorities consider him a flight risk due to his connections in Mexico. And he's being held, of course. He's got to be one of the worst boyfriends ever. I bet none of you brought a boyfriend home for the first time and he ended up keeping your family hostage for 6 months. Wow. That is something else, isn't it? All right, we've got some crazy TikTok news that I need to bring Bryn in, my producer, tonight. I'm on the TikTok, but it's still very foreign to me, right? I watch the videos. I do the live TikTok, but I don't really interact with the folks. I don't know anything about. I understand likes, but I don't know what the goals are. I don't know. Fan Club 101. I don't know any of the stuff that pops up on the screen. It makes no sense to me, but I do it because I've been asked to. But Bryn, you live on TikTok, don't you?
I'm on there pretty often.
Yeah. Have you heard this, it's not really a trend, but this theory about broken bones?
Yes.
So would you mind kind of explaining it to the edgeheads, this whole theory about people that have not had broken bones in their life, exactly what they're trying to get at here?
I've heard actually two different versions of it. So I've heard that people that haven't broken bones are either extremely lucky and like spiritually protected, or if you've never broken a bone, it's because you're going to experience so much hardship in your life that you are at least spared from breaking a bone.
So I've heard the first one. I didn't hear the second one.
Yeah.
The story that I saw that suggests individuals who haven't experienced a break are either protected by higher powers, as you kind of mentioned,
right,
have good karma from good actions, or are spared from past life trauma.
Yeah.
So basically, if in a past life, if you believe in such things, and you had a rough life, that because you suffered so much in your previous life, you're not going to experience a broken bone.
I guess.
Please tell me you don't believe in that.
Not necessarily. I don't think that makes sense.
I mean, doesn't it? People break bones in very many different ways, right? I mean, it has nothing to do. I mean, kids break bones. My son, when he was like 1.5, okay, fell out of his crib. Like he climbed out of his crib, landed on a hardwood floor, and broke his collarbone. Yeah, it was awful.
Oh no,
it was awful. Poor little kid had to wear like a brace and a sling, and he could barely walk. He had no good karma.
Right.
he was a baby, right? Was he not protected by a higher power?
I don't know. I've never broken a bone, so.
But here's the thing. I hope you don't ever break a bone. A lot of people have gone through life and not broken bones. You know, I broke my middle finger on my right hand playing baseball.
It's pretty common. Maybe you're just not spiritually protected.
So you're saying God hates me. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying?
Maybe. I don't know.
Wow. That is just the oddest thing. And it's weird because like this video has now been seen like 4 million times.
Yeah.
And there are people that I'm sure are seeing that and going, I haven't had any broken bones. Maybe I am special. You think?
Yeah, probably. And people are probably using it as like an excuse to do stupid things.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Because that's why TikTok exists.
Right.
It's really just for us to watch other people do stupid things and there be a record, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate your insight, Bryn. 937-457-1290. Roger in Springfield. What's going on, Roger?
Hey, how you doing, man? First time, long time. Enjoy the show.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay, like I told your producer, you know, I wanted to chime in about this poor lady from Springfield that had her windows busted up.
Yeah. Do you know this person? Or are you familiar with the situation? Or
well, kind of, but see, I'm no attorney, but myself, I am a landlord.
Okay.
And yes, I would be the one that'd be footing that bill for those windows, not my tenant.
Yeah, I wouldn't. When I heard that, and again, I said this last hour, I only have one side of the story from what was reported on WHIO.com, right? So yeah. I don't know what conversations she may have had with her landlord or the landlord had with the glass guy that went to her house and said it's going to be $600 and you have to pay. I don't know other than what was reported. But when I heard that, I thought, wait a second. I've rented homes before. I have rented apartments before. If something like that happens, I'm not responsible for it.
No, you're not. You are not.
And I thought, I know there are some pretty shady landlords out there, Roger, as you know, that may very well try to pull something like that on a tenant who, you know, may be in a desperate situation or can't afford an attorney or doesn't know the law or whatever it might be.
Well, see, the thing is, you know, we got out there, what you call slumlords.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, you know, the way is, you know, any tenant that rents one of my properties, you know, if it's their fault, then that's a different story.
100%. 100%.
But if it's in this situation like that, if somebody's throwing rocks at her house and any kind of vandalism, that would be my responsibility.
Or even I think like a quote unquote act of God, right? Because somebody on the live stream mentioned that, you know, if you're renting a home and there's a big tree in the front yard and the tree gets blown over and crashes into the house during a storm, that's not the tenant's responsibility, right? I mean, that's the landlord's responsibility. They should have either removed the tree if it was dangerous or make sure it was trimmed back or whatever the case is. And that's the job of the landlord. It's not the tenant. Now the tenant may be responsible for mowing the lawn. That's there on them, you know. but not a tree or, it just seems, I'm just a little uncertain about what this woman was told. That's all. And I hate to see somebody who's in a desperate situation, panicking and feeling angst because of what somebody told her,
Yeah, I know. Just like, back in 2010 when Hurricane Ike moved through Ohio, I had a tenant that had roof damage. I was responsible for that.
Yeah, I get it. All right, Roger. Well, hopefully we'll hear more about this and get more details, and whether it's Homes Without Barriers or some other group can step in and help this woman and figure it all out. But I appreciate your call, buddy.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Take care. There you go. See, this is why I love the edge heads. I love the edge heads. They hear the call and immediately people are like, hey, I know about this. I can help. My group can help. We're kind of like a community here. That's the whole point, and that's why we do the show. That's why I do the show. So thank you, and hopefully we'll figure it out and get some resolution for this lady. I feel confident that we will.
What am I listening to now?
What is this?
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
It's a radio show. It's entertainment.
Fill it up.
T. Oh.
Double D.
H.
Oh.
Double L.
S. T. I can remember that.
Locally grown, seriously funny.
I'm puzzled by the whole thing.
On WHIO.
Now from the WHIO News.
I am 2 for 3. I missed one. It's on the floor right next to me. But that's the only one I've missed. Oh, I appreciate you asking. I don't know who is that? Whoa, geez. Chairs with wheels are sometimes dangerous. Holy cow. You almost witnessed a Cindy Luhu. The voting ended actually on last Friday. So no more voting for Dayton Daily News Best of Dayton. But thank you, though. I appreciate it. Yeah, the voting ended last Friday. And they'll let us know sometime in June. And I promised if I win, if I am Dayton's favorite media personality, I'm going to wash someone's car. I will wash the car of an edgehead. So we'll see. That's right, Captain Scurvy. Don't break any bones. I've already proven that I can take a fall from falling off my bike, so I don't know that I would do as well here. I'd probably chip a tooth on the table falling down or knock them out. Still sore, Caroline. Right in here, man. Right in there. I look, there's no bruise, but boy, I can feel it. It's just muscle. I can tell it's just muscle. It's not I'm not feeling any pain. It's just sore. It's like a deep bruise or something, but I don't really see any discoloration, so
Plumbing Studios. Breathe easy. Choose McAfee. Call today or visit mcair.com. This is WHIO Dayton and WHIO FM Pleasant Hill. All news, all the time.
More rain and cool temperatures for tomorrow. We'll have the latest at 7 o'clock. Now back to the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst on 1290 and 95.7 WHIO.
From a psychological standpoint, the radio station represents a link to normalcy.
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7, live stream up on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. I need to give a shout out to one Parker Testa, who sent me this story today. Of course, the Indianapolis 500 is on Monday, right? Yeah. And Friday is Carb Day. Isn't it the race on Monday? Memorial Day? Sunday. That's right. Sunday. Anyway, this Friday is Carb Day. And this is going to be something to see. It's the Wienie 500. And what's happening? The Wienie 500? There will be 6 Oscar Mayer Wienermobiles racing on the track. Each Wienermobile represents a different regional hot dog, and drivers will wear custom hot dogger racing suits. The race will celebrate the start of summer and hot dog season. I thought, isn't year-round hot dog season? I mean, let's be honest. The winner will receive a trophy and a hot dog at the Wiener Circle. And if you want, you can get on DraftKings and you can bet for free. You can win your share of 10 grand. Let me just say, I really don't want anybody to get hurt. But I can't be the only one who would like to see a Wienermobile get slammed up against the wall, wiener debris all over the track, And then they got to bring out those big Zambonis, you know, and clean up the wiener debris. Again, I don't want anybody to get hurt. But come on. I mean, a lot of people watch the racing because of that. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow just after 5. You can get the podcast of the show at eveningedgetodd.com. And, well, just have a great Tuesday night.
And that's all she wrote.
I got nothing left.
Why don't you just call it a night?
I'm saying it's over, superstar. That's it, guys. We're all fried.
You guys have a good night.
Unplug everything, wrap it up. Let's go home.
Adios, amigo.
All right, everybody. Have a good night.